All right, guys. So that JB Weld has dried in those holes there, and now we've got our Bondo and our Harbor Freight sander, and we're gonna get to putting some more Bondo, smoothing things out, and then we're gonna start sanding. So I'm gonna do a time lapse of that because it is gonna take me quite a bit. I'm not gonna cover all of it. When I have any important spots, I'm gonna point that out. But basically, we're just gonna be smoothing out any of those bumpy areas. It's not gonna be perfect. I mean, it's a 2000 Mustang project car, but hopefully the end goal is this will look pretty cool and a lot better than it did before. So here we go. All right, so we got those smoothing out a little bit. Yes, I'm aware this thing is ugly. Fenders are pretty much screwed. I'm trying to see if I can save them. If it doesn't turn out how I want, we'll probably just go end up putting some flares on it later. But you know, we're trying to see if we can save them. Maybe make them a little bit better. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's gonna be a fun car. Doesn't need to be perfect. So now we're gonna slap some more Bondo on this and then let that dry, then smooth that out. While we're waiting for that Bondo to dry, we'll probably do some removal of the badges and things. That way we can sand and go right into the paint. All right, we've got these fenders sanded down. They're honestly, they're not as bad as I thought they would have turned out. They're rough, but you know, they're fairly smooth. We got Bondo there. We got Bondo there. Yes, I did sand under the Bondo. It just doesn't look like this. This could actually didn't look half bad. So we're gonna wait for that to dry, then sand that down, and then continue sanding the rest of the car. Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna be removing these headlights. Realize there's not really anything like bolting these in. It's just these little tabs here and here. Pull them up. Yeah, then she just pulls out, and then you. I can't do it. Need two hands, but then you just gotta unplug that, and headlights are out. So I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna tape that up. I'm gonna paint this part the same color I'm gonna be painting the stuff, so I'm not gonna be removing this, but I am gonna remove this grill, maybe. How's this held in? Looks like the grill is only held in with these little plastic clips. I have to go get a little crowbar for these. That's just held in with these plastic clips, but that's how you take out those headlights. And then I've never been I'm not sure if I want to take out these or not. I think I might. And then I am gonna take out. Yeah, I'm gonna take out the taillights. This thing, it's pretty messed up. I'll take it out just so I can have the paint up in here. Probably need a new one. I'll put this one back in just because I don't have a new one yet. That third brake light. And removal wise, that really should be all that you really need to remove. Yeah, I don't really notice anything else that needs removal on here. You can see my sanding job. This is just the first one, so I will be going. This was with 60 grit because it was so rough. So I'll be going down to 180, and then like 300, and then like 400, just so I can actually paint it. But yeah, got those tail lights off. Then we're gonna sand that. We're gonna start masking this stuff up so we can hit it with some primer. All right, so now we're taking out these tail lights. Here, I'll put it back in so you can kind of see. If you look in here, I think this will be chill on all SN95s. We got this bolt back right there, bolt back in there, and then this one. I used a 7/16. You will probably need a deep well for it. If you want to be hardworking, man, you can use a wrench, but I wasn't doing all that. Oh, that's fun. Oh yeah, that's some crunchy rust. Okay. Whatever, who cares? But yeah, then they just pop out there. And you gotta disconnect this and this, it would appear. Oh, and this and this. Okay. Yeah, that's fun. So we got that one out, and then we gotta get this one out too. This one will be a little harder to get because we have to move the subs. But yeah. All right, guys. We've been out here about 5 hours, I'd say, sanding this thing down. Unfortunately, we're nowhere near done. So now I did the small areas with some finer sanding, 200 grit. So now I'm gonna go over in these larger areas, do some 200 grit. It is going to rain, so we'll let the rain actually wash it off, and then we'll give it a little hose down, hit it with some mineral spirits. And then do some primer, and then I'm gonna sand that primer with 300 grit. But here's how she looks. Pretty bad, honestly. But you know, it's gonna rain soon, so that'll get washed away, and then we'll hit it with some primer. So here we go. All right, guys, so we've sprayed some primer on this thing. We had it all sanded down, taped up all the edges. I'm not a professional or anything. I did my best. I think my edges honestly aren't too bad. You can kind of see here. I feel like I did a decent job taping up the edges. But we got some primer on it. I didn't have enough primer to cover the whole car. Honestly, I don't feel like it's necessary. You don't always need primer in places that are already painted, as long as you sand them down. And this is a spray paint job. It's gonna look mediocre anyways, and a lot of this car is beyond my ability to save. Like this, below this front bumper here, it was pretty cracked up. I did my best to save it. At the end of the day, my goal here was to make it look better than it did before, and I think we're going to accomplish that, so we're about to start laying some paint down. Alright, I am going to spray a little bit more primer on some of the areas with a little bit more holes and stuff, just by the time I get to there, it'll be about 20 minutes anyways, so.
And remember, at the end of the day, I'm not a professional, so don't take my advice. Just so you know, this rad does have mineral spirits on it. I'm using that to wipe down the car before painting. I did that before. Wasn't happy with how clean the roof was, so I just had to put another wipe down. For information, that's just me being lazy. I don't feel like taping up all four wheels. Need another can. I'm gonna put the rest of this on a time lapse. It shows it's gonna take a while, but kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. All right, so we're gonna be doing another coat now. An interesting thing, my girlfriend, she wants to make her like a painting on the roof, and this is a project car. So I said, you know, let's do it. You know, it's we're just doing this for fun, you know. So the roof is gonna stay white. What I'm gonna end up doing for my design on it, I'm gonna wait about a week just to make sure the paint is cured, because I really don't want to have to do this twice, and I don't want any painter's tape or anything to peel anything up. So I'm gonna wait about a week before doing that. So we're gonna put as many coats as I can in one coat. Was about 2 cans. So we got six cans. So we'll do about 3 coats and then 3.5. Just spray the rest on there. But yeah, we're about to start another coat here. So I'm gonna put that on a time lapse again, just because otherwise it takes too much time. So honestly, isn't laying half bad. I mean, after the first coat, I put the second one on rather thick. You know, we're not quite there yet. We need probably another like 2 coats. We haven't got any runs yet, except for I forgot that I'm using a freaking turbo can, and I decided to get under the mirror and kind of screwed that up. Honestly, don't know what I'm gonna do with that one. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Best bet would probably be to let it cure and then just hit that area over again, which is what I'll do because I'm not doing clear coat. So I think I'm gonna let that area cure right there, and then just hit it again. And yeah, I'll just ignore it for now. We'll worry about that later. Considering how bad the cracks are everywhere else, if that's my only run, I'm gonna be happy. Probably just cursed it by saying that though, but I mean, I don't think we're looking too bad everywhere else. White, that's what matters. All right, well, she's done. It's white. So my only really mistake here on the car that I made, I mean, for the most part, it honestly doesn't look half bad. Only mistake is right here. And yes, I did do this stupidness because I figured that would be easier to sand out than a fucking giant line. So that I might regret that, I might not. But we got it off. Looks like my paint lines are honestly pretty good. Some of it's still wet, that's why you see a little bit of discoloration. Some of it will just stay discolored like that because it's fucking spray paint, not professional. But honestly, for what it is, it looks a hell of a lot better than before, so I'll take it. We're not done though, so stay tuned to see what we do next with it. So the white is done. A lot of the lines, like from spray paint, will come out after buffing. My bad, I sneezed. Honestly, I'm happy with it. Looks pretty good, I feel like, for spray paint and the amount. I mean, I did a decent amount of prep work, but like, you know, a lot of the parts in this car were pretty messed up before. Couldn't really save completely, so it's definitely a vast improvement over how it looked before. And hopefully this paint lasts at least like 6 months. So, yeah. All right, guys, so it's been 2 days. The white paint it's pretty damn dry. It's been, you know, like 100+ degrees out here in Florida, so it's pretty damn dry. So I am taping it up right now for the design. It's a tedious process to, you know, measure, get these things as even as possible. I can kind of show you. It took me a while to get it as straight as this, and now I'm just working on taping up so we don't get any overspray. It's honestly looking not bad. I mean, I'm ignoring the little mess up spots because what I was planning on doing was basically getting the whole job done and then basically going back, because I figured that a few areas that I need to, you know, touch up, things like that. So that's what I'm planning on doing. So we're just gonna see how that goes. I'm finishing up taping here in the back, and then I'm gonna start sanding and spraying that, and then while, you know, in between layers of that, I'm gonna start taping up the front and then start doing that process on the front, and then untape it. And if it's not, I'm gonna look at like the areas and see, and then I might start working on fixing some of the areas with the white. We'll just see how that goes from there, but here we go. All right, so we've got her all taped up here, and I just did some sanding with 320 grit. Should definitely do the trick with that. You know, it's spray paint already, so it's not smooth already, so it's gonna be plenty of bumpiness for it to stick. And then we're gonna do a really light coat with that first one, and that'll act as the primer. Don't really think we'll have any problems spraying over spray paint. It usually sits pretty well in my experience, as long as you wait a little bit and sand it down. So now we're gonna wipe this down with some mineral spirits and start on a little bit of paint, and then I'm gonna move to the front. It takes a lot of work. Like, I've been just taping this up alone has taken me about an hour and a half just to be as precise as I want. I'm a little bit anal about it because I know spray paint's not gonna look the best, but if I can put some work into it, then I at least can make it look a little bit better. So I'm gonna try to do that now. So we got our first light coat of that gloss hunter green on here. You know, doesn't look even, but it's that first coat. While we're waiting on that, we're gonna wait about 15 minutes, 20 minutes for that to dry a little bit, get tacky. While we're waiting on that, we're gonna start lining up that front hood. This part is gonna be, I don't know, maybe as tricky, maybe not as tricky. We're gonna find out. Gotta figure out how I want to line that up, what kind of angle I want to do, and then go from there. All right, so that second layer is the second coat is sprayed on right now. So another 15 minutes while I'm working on this hood. So our first attempt at the hood, not too bad with taping up. However, it did not come out quite straight. We're a little bit over to the right, so we're gonna have to redo this. I'm gonna try starting from a different position and measuring in a different way. Maybe that'll get it more straight. We're pretty damn close. I might be able to fiddle with it and get it a little more straight, but yeah, we're gonna try one more time, and then we'll rip that all off and try fresh. So, but yeah, here's that second coat of that gloss hunter cream. I like it, I dig it. I feel like it's going not too bad. A lot cheaper than a wrap. Yeah. All right, guys, so we have taped up this area. We have sanded it with 320 grit, and now we're ready for the paint. We have it on the setting number 5, and just a little test right here. All right, she's spraying good, and I don't know how to paint, to be honest, so I haven't really shown me actually doing this close up. I'm just kind of winging it, to be honest. But I'm laying it on thin as the first layer, kind of act as a primer. This can does not spray as good as the other one was, but I don't care, to be honest. Oops. Nice part about spray paint is it's on an unprepped surface. It's really easy to wipe up your mistakes. So like when I overspray onto stuff, I just go over with a towel that has mineral spirits on it, and it all wipes up really good. All right, but now we're gonna keep doing that. And we're gonna do probably about 4 coats on this. After the first one, we're gonna lay it on pretty heavy. So I'll just keep going at it. So this is the most satisfying part, pulling the tape. A little tricky because you don't want to get green leather crap all over. Down here, it's still there. You can pull that. But this edge is what we actually care about. We want to pull this back at like a 45-degree angle. And we're doing it while it's wet because we don't want to peel paint with it. Really satisfying, but also terrifying. All right, there's that. Now for the sides. Whew. Those lines, I'm really happy with the way that these lines turned out. Not perfect, but you know, for what I put into it, I think it's pretty damn good. We're gonna go over the white only, because the white has cured, the white is dried. So we're gonna go over the white with some mineral spirits just to wipe off that excess of green before it actually cures and hardens on there. So now we're looking at this side. Alright. That worked. But we're not done. Not even close. Probably should have taken that off before, but laziness. Edges on there look nice. For this right hand job. Relatively. This corner's a little harder. So my taping job was not as clean over here, which means taking it off isn't going to be as easy over here either. But it looks like we got it, and we do. Alright, and I'm folding this inward so I don't get green paint all over the white paint. There we go. Not bad, not bad. So I'm gonna do a close-up on this show. I'm gonna hog feet first. You will notice some green overspray. Like I said, I take a rag with mineral spirits and get that, but here is a close-up of it. Ignore that green overspray. I can wipe that up. It's not dry. It's honestly really easy to wipe up. But I am pretty happy with how my lines turned out. I think after some polishing, she is gonna look beautiful. So stay tuned, because next we actually have the Marlboro decals themselves. I'm gonna wait a while to do those, just because I'd like the paint to cure fully. That way they actually stick well. So there it is, everybody.